There is an old Chinese proverb or a saying which says, life is a series of natural and spontaneous changes. Don't resist them. That only creates sorrow. Let reality be reality. Let things flow naturally forward in whatever way they like. Welcome to Raw, Real Absolute Wisdom. I am your host, Rohit Basi. This show is about helping you, serving you in passing through your fears, celebrating your failures, and focusing on being that wonderful success that you want to be. Welcome to Raw. Truly appreciate Blue Cuisina for allowing us to use their premises for doing this interview. Blue Cuisina is an authentic Greek cuisine restaurant in Singapore on Dempsey Hill. A restaurant born out of the founder's love for sharing a hearty meal with friends, spiced with quality olive oil and accompanied with good wine. The food was truly amazing. Thank you once again, Blue Cuisina. In this day and age, many people are complaining about disruption, the younger generation, how lazy and how pathetic they can be. But here I get to talk on the show to a wonderful lady who sees things in a completely different way. She is a Mumbai-ite by heart. She learned very early in her life to embrace change, consistently learn, and unlearn to evolve with time. She strongly believes change is only constant and it's beyond success and failure. Besides being a passionate HR professional, she is a warm friend and a typical Indian ma to her two lovely children. We welcome to the show Ramani. Thank you for being Real Absolute Wisdom Raw.
Thank you, Rohit, for having me.
My pleasure. For the record, for the viewers, for the listeners, your full name. It's a question I ask everyone.
Ramani Amar.
Okay.
Yeah, that's short and sweet.
Short and sweet. So
Yeah.
there's no long name, short name.
No. I come from a South Indian background, but I don't have long name.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Usually it's long name. Ramani, what does it mean?
Means a beautiful girl.
Oh.
Also means pleasing.
Okay.
And that's what I try to be.
Okay.
Always.
Okay. Now, you are a HR professional. You work for a global organization, and I'm sure you see many behaviors and personalities over there. But before going to that part of your life, let's look at your life itself.
Okay.
As a youngster, I'm not talking about teenage,
Mm-hmm.
before you were a teenager,
Okay.
what were you like?
I was a curious child.
Okay.
I love exploring things. I love exploring places, people, and this curiosity was always there within me. And my father comes from a railway background, so I had all the leisure to travel free across India, which kind of helped me with my curiosity to see different places, meet different people. I was always a very talkative girl, but that helped me to see life more closely with the eyes of others.
Okay.
Visiting places gives you, every place has its unique character, and that gives you a different kind of experience. And I still hold on those memories, which help me in life in the long run.
So teenage life.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Then I think teenage is when I started already sketching a plan for my future.
So you're in your teenage world, like 13 years old?
Yeah, so 15 to be very precise, and I got inspired by one of my cousin who is a very experienced and reputed HR professional, and I knew for myself that yes, this is a profession I'm going to choose.
Wow, that was
Yeah, at the
very
age of
young.
15, and I was in high school, and I knew it like 2 years I'm going to do my high school in particular subjects, my electives would be this, I'm going to do my graduation in particular management subjects, and then MBA. So I had my life plan sketched at the age of 15, 16. And all I have to do is like start executing it. So, I was curious at the same time. I surprised myself at the age of 15. I was so organized, which is a little, I don't know. But yeah, I think that was the thing. My teenage was all about sketching my life for the future. I started earning at the age of 18. So I had my first paycheck when I was 18 and a half or something, because by 18 you can work legally in India. And I picked up my first job because just wanted to be independent. My father was very nice to me, but still I wanted to earn it by myself. So that was another thing in me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, uni. What did you do in uni?
So I studied Bachelor of Management Studies. Again, my electives were no points for guessing, HR and marketing.
Yeah.
And I picked the same subjects for my post-graduation also.
And obviously, you're in India. Now you're in Singapore.
Yeah.
But you were in other places before this. So how did the journey come to Singapore?
Okay. That's the most interesting part of it, because while I was in my teenage, I never thought I'll step out of India.
You'll be on the railway always.
I had a plan, but it was all around Mumbai.
Okay.
And around my parents, and everything was like sketched there. And then I meet this handsome man and get married to him, who is from south of India.
Oh, he's going to be very happy when he hears that.
He is, and he's another passionate, curious, ambitious individual who kind of add wings to my curiosity and my quest for exploring things. And he comes up with this plan like, okay, we are going Australia. And I was carrying my first child at that time. And I was all settled in Bangalore by then. I mean, the happy life out there. And suddenly the surprise comes to me. And I'm dumbstruck. Frankly, I'm like, okay. And with no clue, no idea. It was a feeling of getting into a roller coaster. Where the ride will lead me to. I just got into that ride. And I spent around close to 3 years in Australia. Had my babies there.
So
And
you got 2 kids?
I have 2 kids, 2 lovely kids. Touchwood, I'm so blessed to have them, and daughter and a son. And then we came to Singapore, and it's been now close to 7+ years that we are here, and this is home now.
And how long were you really meant to be here in Singapore?
Honestly, it was a 6-month stopgap.
The stopgap is...
The stopgap is still going on, and without any hesitation, I call this place home now.
Okay.
So I know sometimes life surprises you, and that's why I always say that change is only constant. And I'm always open. I always look at change with a very positive mindset. So I keep telling, like, change is for good. And it might come up with some surprises. It might shock you at times because something unexpected life has offered you. But eventually, I believe that it is always for your good.
Okay.
And that's what life has taught me. So I think I evolved as a person with all these beautiful changes that happened in my life. And with all this exposure, I'm completely a different person of the teenager who sketched the plan to what I look at myself today with all these experiences.
So, you've been here in Singapore now. You've got your family here, well settled over here. You're a HR professional at a senior post. Why HR in specific? Why? You sketched it out at the age of 15, 16, that HR, that's it. Why HR?
Why not, I would say. See, the only thing is, as I told you, the quest to explore people, to know more about them. I strongly believe the best lessons that you learn in life are through stories. And every individual has a story to tell. And if something can be your profession, then you get to know people and to offer something as a value in the process, which might bring even a small difference to their life. I started as a recruiter. You know what pleasure people get when they get their first job? The happiness that they get, the joy of getting your first paycheck. And when they share it with you, I think these were the little things which always keep me motivated. I love to share those experiences with people. I love to be able to bring that little difference, that little value in their lives. And if I can be a support in any way, I think that is the ultimate, ultimate motivation, that is the ultimate pleasure that I derive out of my job. And I think it's very much my personality. I never felt like this is my job. I love doing it. Every morning I get up with a lot of excitement out of my bed, like, great, I'm going to meet few new people today.
Okay.
I might end up, supporting somebody with something. I might add value to some process, or maybe I might be able to help someone with solving something. So why not? So I think this is the best thing that I can do with my personality.
So in your work, being what you do, I'm sure you face situations which can be very, very challenging, very tough, and emotionally draining. In your years of experience, where has there's been a tough situation? I'm specifically talking about work, where you're dealing with the employee, and it's a tough situation, and you're like, well, what do I do? How do you deal with that? What do you do?
I mean, while I was talking about the good side of the HR, when you start as a recruiter and you offer them jobs, there is this grey side of this profession wherein at times, due to some business and financial reasons, you might have these hard conversations with people about retrenchment. And the person like me, who always love to bring positive changes in others' lives, conveying that negative message is always a challenging part. Personally, it is very taxing. Professionally also, it's not a great job or a task to do. But frankly speaking, I always try to be a person who is very closely knitted with the community. I can cite you an example. I have been in the situation, but while we were having this discussion, I could parallelly offer them 4 to 5 references saying that, you know what, contact these people and this will lead you to something new.
Okay.
So at least I try to be resourceful there. I try to first look at it from a broader, perspective and try to offer the same vision to them. At least that pulls them out from the small negative message out there, which is like, I'm losing something, to something like, life is bigger. And this is time for you to move into a different direction. So let's start looking at it. And these are the few, directions that I can give you. These are the few references that I can give you.
Okay.
So I just try to reduce the pain around it, and hopefully it helps in some situations.
Now, in my travels in the places where I've worked, doesn't matter if it's in Europe, Middle East, coming to the Far East, one of the things I always hear, this common phrase, HR is just policing.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's across the globe you hear the same thing.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about that? It's got nothing to take care of people. It's a policing.
And part of the job is, yes, you are the caretaker of all the policies and compliances around. But having said that, processes and policies and all sort of compliances are made to make everyone's life easy. And I think this is the only message that you have to communicate. I think it's how you communicate. I can be that that robo kind of a person who just go and tell, like, this is what is our process says and this is what the policy says and you can't go beyond it. Or we can sit across the table and discuss, you know what, so far the employee policies have been this. And if we go to create an exception, what can be the impact around it? So it's all about how you have that conversation. Eventually, everybody is matured individual working in this, in the organizations these days. They do understand. I think it's more about how you communicate, how you get them into that point where the thought process, how these things were created, and it's ultimately for everybody's convenience eventually.
Okay. So that's work. Gonna go off work.
Okay.
Family.
Yeah.
2 kids.
Yeah.
Handsome husband. We can say that again. Handsome husband. How do you manage family life?
I mean, I'm unapologetically a full-time mother. So managing, I think it comes naturally. I think the involvement is very natural. Yes, there are some sort of controls there in terms of timetables and discipline. Yes.
So now the rail police comes out.
but I think it's more about if I spend 3 hours in the evening with my kids from the time I get back from work to the time they go to bed, and those 3 hours are the most precious hours of my every day. And whatever I share with them, whatever moments I spend with them in person, is what going to create an experience in their minds, in their lives. That is from where they would like to. They would remember me from those hours, those time spent. And kids get candid. They do share their stories. Sometimes they do come up with their little problems. Sometimes they end up teaching you a lot of new things and just open your mind. So
they start teaching you things. That's. So what is that in the recent time, or even in the years you've had your children? That is one thing which is very memorable that your children have taught you.
My daughter, oh my God, I'm so blessed to have such a matured soul in a 9-year-old girl. And we were just watching this movie 2 days ago, a Hindi movie about kings and wars, and then we were just like sitting on a couch together, and I was like, kings, they always end up having wars and fights with other kings, and when they are done with that, they start fighting within the family. And that was me just passing a random comment, and my daughter just looks at me and say, "Mom, that means only a family can destroy a family." And I was completely awestruck by that thought. I mean, yes, it was a proud moment. I was like, wow, such clarity in thought. So yes, they end up teaching you sometimes. They end up teaching you a lot of things, and they just simplify things for you.
From what you learn from home, is this something from there that you apply back into the workplace?
I do a lot of
Okay,
stuff.
so tell us. This is interesting.
I mean, we were having some conversation, and this was just across the table. We were having a coffee with one of my ex-colleagues, and then she was kind of complaining that, my manager don't appreciate me much. I have done this last week and I've done that last week. And then I started smiling, and she's like, "No, you have an answer. Just tell me now what it is." So okay, you know what? I love cooking, and I just cook at least one meal in a week. I won't say every day, but then in a week. And then it's like sometimes they quietly eat and then just go back to their rooms. And I'm waiting for some sort of a feedback or appreciation, like, how is it? And then over the period of time, I learned, like, if they are quietly eating and then going back to their work, that means they're fine, they're satisfied, everything is fine. So not every time you will get a feedback for what you do. Sometimes you have to accept that if everyone is fine and quiet and going back to their routine, that means you're doing your job well.
So this incident what you're talking about, is this something which you see is because of a generation difference? Or is it across all the different generations which are in the workplace?
I mean, frankly, we have all sorts of studies and research that support, and we all talk about millennials as generation. And then studies and research have proved, because this is a generation which is brought up mostly in the nuclear setup. Most of the parents were working. So like me, the 3 years that they get with their kids, they try to be positive, they try to be encouraging, motivating. So even if they pick a pencil and write an A, they're like, "Hey,
Well
good
done.
job, well done." So this is how they're conditioned. Even for small tasks, the natural tasks that they should be doing at that age, they were encouraged, appreciated, given a feedback, how it is, good, bad, and things like that. So they are brought up that way. And definitely these are the personalities which come to organizations. And that is where managers need to learn. Don't wait for the performance review, which happens annually.
I always found that very strange, annual performance.
Yeah, or some sort of quarterly reviews. Instead, I think they are the one who look for feedback. Like, I just finished this task. What do you think about it? Good, bad. They're open for feedback.
Which is good.
It's not always that they're looking only for good. They're open for feedback. It's just that they want to know how it is. How did they do? Can they do better than that? They look up to you in terms of how you can encourage, how you can identify and tap into their potential, and how you can help them to find their goals eventually. And this is the thing, when you work in a multi-generational environment, maybe the other generations were not brought up in this setup. Maybe they were part of big families. There are 5-6 siblings, and when they all are growing up, parents are doing whatever is necessary in terms of providing and completing their needs. But this is a different level where you go and get involved and motivate them at every level, at every job that they do. So yeah, I think this is what we need to understand. Eventually, we are the people. This is the generation, and the same personalities come to office. It can't be a different thing. And the moment we learn and acknowledge and start acting on these facts, I think it will be easy for organizations also to have much more healthy and happy environment.
What is your take about, as a whole, on social media, because it has a big impact? I'm not just talking about work, I'm talking about life as well. You've got 2 children as well. And I see the benefit of it. What is your take, being a mother and also being a caretaker of an organization from a human resources perspective? What is your take?
And branding altogether has gone to a different level. Exposure, visibility, audience were the terms initially or in yesteryears were used for brands, companies, and organizations. Today, every individual is a brand in himself or herself. And thanks to all these social media platforms, which allow you to build your brand. But having said that, again, how you take it in terms of letting it affect you and play around with you. Because personally, I can't completely validate my existence or my looks or my success on the number of likes. Maybe I would measure it in terms of where I was last year and where I am today and what are the new things that I learned. And I know it for myself. Maybe my picture on the social media don't speak about it. Maybe my participation and tag in particular event on the social media might not loudly speak about it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's there, and it's a phenomenon. You can't exit it. I think it's how you basically limit it in terms of affecting you in whatever goals that you need to achieve with that visibility. But eventually, be natural, be yourself. You have those 4 friends and your family around, and they are going to stick around to you throughout your life instead of those 1,000-odd likes which are there on social media. And they are just there. They're just there to know your know-abouts, and that's all. So don't forget the validation in your immediate close family and friends, the support system. That matters more than anything for me.
So it's not about the digital, it's more of the personal, emotional connection. Is that what you're saying?
I think we are human beings.
Yeah.
And this is the only advantage we have against robots. Otherwise, robots can do everything, right? So we are naturally blessed by emotional intelligence, and this is what robots need to be trained on. And we are I feel we are personally in HR profession. So I think this is where our strength sits in, the emotional connect. And we can't unlearn this part. We can evolve with time, but we can't unlearn this part.
Your husband, he's a professional. You're a professional. How does he support you in your role as a career woman?
Oh my God, he is the best thing happened to me because
he is the best thing. So, yeah, I mean, this is amazing, isn't it?
Frankly speaking, as I told you, like he's equally passionate, driven, ambitious. I'm also the same, and he understands my space. He understands my goals, my personality, my passive aggressive nature, and he always helped and support me in the journey. I mean, it was very difficult for me when I moved out of India and to re-establish myself in completely new country. HR is a profession where you have to do a lot with cultural understanding.
Yes.
And when you don't have that cultural understanding, it's a very big struggle for yourself to establish, and then you're uprooted from somewhere. You re-establish yourself and grow. And he was always my support in the journey. So we share experiences, we share stories from our work life. We take each other's opinion without insisting to act on it, and that has been the best part. I got my freedom in terms of not that he has to do but he's always been understanding that ways. He played role where I have to travel across many countries, and he stayed back taking care of kids. He never made me realize that, you know what, you're missing your motherly duties. He was never there. And I think that is the biggest thing that he did to me, and allowed me to grow in my own way, and in a way that provide everything that I need to achieve in my own way. I think that is the understanding that you need as a person, more than any sort of support. Sometimes even if you don't have a word, but the quietness do help, because you're just giving that space to the other person to settle down.
So, from what you're telling me, you've had a very supportive parents, very supportive husband, obviously very loving children. The career path which you've taken, it could be because you've already set it up. Yeah, things have been very smooth for you. So, as we come to a close of the interview, question for those people who for them the things are not smooth, the journey is not smooth. What would you recommend to them? What would you suggest to them to assist in getting the journey smooth?
Frankly speaking, Rohit, things have been smooth for me because my perspective was very different.
Okay.
I looked at things beyond success and failure, and hence change, that word, matters a lot to me. I don't weigh things in the bracket of success, failure. I just look at it as change. And if it is change, what is my approach? Am I ready for it? And what are the opportunities for me inside that? And how can I tap into it? Sometimes, yes, I can get very vulnerable to it. But eventually, this is how you evolve. Sometimes you have to hit the rock bottom so that you know what you are in there as a person. What are your strengths? You have to gather yourself and then come up and again look at the positivities and the opportunities and grab on them. So I mean, it's really difficult to comment that I never had failures as such, but I never considered them that big as failure. It was different. The situation changed, the opportunities changed, and then I just have to evolve and look at the time like, okay, what's around me? And this is me, like what I need to upscale right now to fit into this. And this is how I look at life, and this is how I look at things.
So it's the perspective.
It's perspective.
So success, failure. I heard someone say, this notion of success and failure is a stupid idea. It's just, and they say, it's perspective. How much emotional charge you give to these words. As we come to the close of the talk, what is that one thing that you're truly grateful for?
I'm grateful to have a lovely family and great friends around me, and they have always held my back. So no matter what I'm doing in my professional life and personally, whether I'm going through an amazing time or maybe some sort of low times, but they were always with me. They listen to me. They support me, and I think this is much more important. They keep me saying and making me realize that you're doing a good job, you're a great girl, and just continue to do it. Don't stop smiling. Is always the advice that I get from them. So,
keep smiling.
Keep smiling, and then that's all.
You're on camera. Keep smiling.
So yeah, that's the thing.
So, and that's what you could tell your daughter as well, and your son. Keep smiling.
Keep smiling. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you,
Truly
Rohit.
appreciate it. Thanks
Thank you so much. Pleasure.